Okay, that should pop up saying that we are now live. Let's see, where are we at here? I'm looking for my Zoom conference on my phone now. Oh, that's right, I'm not on the phone. That would make a difference too, right? So let me get in here. Okay. Now, there we go. All right, so now I'm set up legitimately the way I'm supposed to. See, I usually use my phone and my computer at the same time. And today I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and use just the computer. And that totally put me in a wind spin here because without being on my phone at the same time, I wasn't able to do all the traditional invites the way I normally do. So now that I've learned that, real quick, I'd like to thank all of you that are joining us on YouTube right now. If you are watching this as a replay, then you've missed out on the live version and you missed out on an opportunity to be able to speak your mind and also be able to ask your questions. We encourage you to come in and join us live. There is a schedule for it, and it's posted as the thumbnail on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, or subscribe, or do all three. It doesn't matter, but the more you work this this channel, the more benefit it's going to do to you and your teammates. So make sure that you share, you get your teammates into these Zooms. Right now, we're talking to my lovely Miss Sarah, and we've got Dee in the house. We've got a new teammate, Donna, as a personal sponsor. We've got Liz, we've got Sarah, Michelle, June, and Anna here with us today. And Anna had just said something in chat. I'm still working and just arrived at my next stop. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good rest of your day. Anna, thank you so much for joining us. You know, the door's always open for you. So, you know, once you get yourself squared away, feel free to come back if you'd like to. And if you don't want to, well, then we'll see you tomorrow. So, June, go ahead.
I got two questions. Where is the little hand?
So if you go, are you on a phone or a computer?
My phone.
Okay, so if you go down, if you touch the bottom of your screen.
Okay, got
you
it.
should see more.
Yeah, I didn't see it in there.
And as soon as you hit more, the very bottom row says raise hand, and then there's emoji.
Okay, I see it.
Yep, and then you can also bring up the chat so that you can see what people have talked about. You know, so anything that you can't do normally, just hit that more button, and that should give you more options. That'd be good for Donna too, since she's a new Zoom user.
Okay, second question, and this might be for Sarah. Doing the vendor days, I have come across the fact that I don't think any of my jewelry will ever get the package with their name on it. Is that not good? Or can I just make sure it has the paparazzi tag on it?
Keep it on the tag. Some people say, oh, you got to keep the package with it. I don't really trip off of that, and I don't think it's really that big a deal if it's in the same plastic, because occasionally I've ordered from some pretty high-up consultants a few times, and some of their pieces didn't have it. As long as it's got the little cardboard still, I think you're fine. Yeah, I don't really trip off of that because it's impossible. Like it's just
well, especially when you're outdoors too, and you know you're trying to keep them from blowing away, or you know you take all your, like my two bling boards, I guess is like 25 or 50, I don't know, I never counted them, and then I'm like, it's going to take me 6 hours to figure out through the computer what the name and what it looks like.
Yeah, you're like, okay, hold on, let me figure out, like, you can't take your jewelry till I figure out which bag of these 1,000 bags is the one for your piece. Like, it just, some people keep them like that. I don't have time for that.
Look, and I'm going to be, I buy my little 2 cents in here too.
Thank you.
When me and Sarah first started, you know, she went to a system of inventory look, we've been doing this for a little while now. So our system of inventory and our system of being able to keep track has changed like so many times over the course that we've been doing this, that at one time we literally like didn't care about the packaging and we were putting everything on the wall, and we didn't care what the name was, and there's nothing wrong with that. When we sold our pieces, we would literally put them into a little like jewelry size Ziploc bag, and we would send them off, and nobody ever once ever complained. We've even, I'm almost certain that we've gotten pieces in that were the pieces with the tags separately, like the tag wasn't even necessarily attached to the piece, but the tag back on. I think that as long as you get the tag is the most important part. Being able to have the specific name is kind of a cool plus, but it's not necessary.
Well, it's okay if you have like 2 of everything, because like I have some 2s of every, a lot of things. And I just usually, if I know I have the 2 of it, I give them the one in the package first, and then I just leave the one hanging on the board.
That's how I do it too.
I was just wondering if it was, required, because I have kept them all in baggies, big Ziplocs.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
like if you grow your inventory, you're going to quickly find yourself overwhelmed, because I had boxes full of little plastic, and I was like, you know what? Because Kim Howard's always like telling us, save money, don't spend money where you don't need to. I get it. But like trying to sift through all those baggies, Chris would sit there with me like for an hour while we're inventorying people's or invoicing people and finding little baggies to fit their pieces by digging through this bin of little baggies. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. I'm spending so much time trying to find baggies that fit the pieces. I now just throw them away. I get a little box. I spend the $10, $12, get a box of little zippered baggies, like he said, off of Amazon. And when it's the last of something, it goes in one of those. And I'm not going to, there's a point where saving money and wasting your time where you could be making even more money, you have to weigh that out. And I was spending way too much time just trying to save a couple of dollars. I was just like, no, this is not it. And I was taking up so much room with those baggies. It had to stop.
Not only that, but we found it's a lot more professional too to send something in a brand new Ziploc baggie than it is to try to stuff it back into a package that's been ripped and torn.
Yeah,
because of the damn staples.
Ugly looking bag, yeah.
Especially the big bobble ones, they're always the ones that rip first.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just soon get it in a big bag or a bigger baggie or whatever anyway, because then it's got some breathing room, It's like especially like the hoop earrings and stuff like that. Trying to get those hoop earrings back in, that little itty bitty bag that they put them in.
Yeah.
At least the zippered ones you get from Amazon. Like my hubby bought me some again, and then I just found some more today. He's going to kill me, but it's okay. He'll get over it. He's been buying me all my stuff for my vending. The new pop-up. I have.
Supportive.
Yeah, that's his way of getting involved. Because I said, come join my live, and he laughed at me. He's like, no.
I would come on live just to say hi to him.
Yeah, because I've gotten all new covers, the cool covers that just cover the top of your tables. I've got all new tables. I've got the new pop-up with the sides if I want to be comfy and by myself. And then the baggies, and he bought me the shush much. He bought me. I guess we'll carry on. Hang on. Thank you. Anyway, he did. I'm gonna go on off again.
It's not. Honestly, though, June, it's not like it's a big bother. You know what I mean? A little dog barking isn't going to stop us from doing our business. So don't be too concerned and think that you're making a big mess here, because you're not. It's all good.
Well, they drive me nuts. But anyway, like I was saying, I have new everything. New bucket to put all my little buckets in. You know,
Hey, but
I've got really everything I need now. So
you know what, Bo? If he's giving you that kind of support, though, that he's even doing that for you, that's you know, that's awesome, because there's people in this business that you know, you're probably completely different, where you know, you keep your business. Some of the women in the business, like, they don't necessarily include their husbands because they don't want to be included, so they have a lot of this information and a lot of their stuff that they do in their business that's literally like just out of sight, out of mind, because they don't talk about it. You know what I mean? The husband is not interested, he doesn't care, or at the same time, he doesn't like what the wife is doing, because you know, maybe he might feel like, well, you know, it's my role to make the money here and it's not yours, or you know, there's all kinds of certain situations in there. But at least you have a husband that's you know, supporting you in a way that he's making sure that you have all the tools that you need to get your business done. There's other people in this business that, like, they get mad every time they see a paparazzi box come in the door. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so yeah, you've got it. You definitely got it good.
yeah, well, I guess he didn't like my first vendor spot, because I had, you know, the old tables and one that wouldn't fold up, and that meant he had to come anyway because it won't fit in my Volkswagen. But he wasn't upset. He got everything in there before I even kind of got out of bed. And so he said, you can't have this. It's all got to match. And I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, that's great though. You know what I mean? And he's giving you the opportunity to look professional when you're standing out there selling your jewelry, and that's great. You know, the more professional that we look and the more together we are. And that's why I try to tell a lot of people, you know, like, you don't have to do your hair and makeup and all that stuff to sell paparazzi. But if you did, you know, and you decided to take that part, you know, and look the role of a fashionista, you know what I mean? It's going to give you that impression, and people are going to walk up to your booth and immediately know, like, hey, this woman has her stuff together. You know what I mean? She's obviously doing this to make her money. This isn't something that she's just casually putting out there, just throwing it, hopefully catching $1 or $2. You know, this is somebody that's seriously making their money. And I noticed that with like Danielle Baker, like she's one of the first ones that'll tell you, like, you know, the minute before, like, when she's going on live, you know, and Sarah's this way too, you know, that like when she's going live, like right now, she would not go on camera regardless of whether or not this was just her team, just because she didn't feel like she was putting herself out there professionally for her team, unless she was wearing her hair and her makeup and everything was, you know, to the nines. And so, you know, ooh, Angie, I love that hair though. I love that color. That color is just like.
I'm ready for Vegas, you guys.
There you go. Party like a rock star.
Yeah, I was like, how am I going to do my hair? I wanted purple.
Spirit Week in the
trying
80s.
to reach is not accepting calls at this time. Please try your call again later.
That reminds me though, today is Spirit Week, right? So, what is today?
Message 24 TX20.
Christina, I'm gonna mute you, hun, so that we don't we don't hear your phone call, okay, hun? What was I gonna say? Oh,
It's the 80s.
today's the 80s day.
Yes, sir. Bright colors.
Yeah, today's the 80s, so I got it done in perfect timing, so we'll see.
I just said that, Angie. I said, oh, you're ready for the 80s, girl.
I am. I guess I'm just going to leave my hair like this.
And a big bow. In a big bow. You know, JoJo with the bow.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to throw a big bow in there. Woo!
Yeah, I was gonna say a big bow or a headband.
I have a big head.
Yeah,
so
actually, I have a leopard print. I have a leopard print headband, so I just use that. Yeah. So cool. Talking about today, guys.
Actually, we're just talking about anything and everything right at the moment. We don't have any particular topic. Donna is a new consultant that just signed up with Sarah and I. So this is her first time in a Zoom, and it's actually the first time Sarah and I's even heard her voice. So it's been kind of cool.
Nice. I just want to let you know that the place that I went to go get my hair done, my regular girl is not available, and I needed my hair done. So I randomly picked a salon in a little town next to mine. And the girl, I called the number on the door because they technically opened at 9, but for some reason they weren't open. And so I called the number, and she goes, "Oh, we're taking appointments only." And I said, "Well, this is what I want to do." And then she said, "Oh, I'll be right there in a few minutes." So she came in, she did my hair. So we got to talk. She's a struggling hair business right now because of COVID. And both her and her partner are both interested in signing up for paparazzi. So I've got 2 potential new teammates, and we hit it off really well. And I gave them 4 bling packs. I gave them 4 pieces of jewelry each. I said, "Here, thank you so much for treating me like a queen and the best customer service." And yeah, they're Spanish speaking.
Well, there you go. Do they speak English as well, or do they Spanish only?
They speak English as well, and then Spanish mostly.
Gotcha. Well, since they do speak English, you're more than welcome to invite them into the Zooms. If they were only speaking Spanish, they're still welcome. I just wouldn't be able to talk to them as much.
Right. No, they definitely. I would work closely with them, and like I said, they're in like about 10 or 15 minutes away from where I live at. So I would definitely be connected with them closely until I know that they're ready.
Well, and that's great, Angie, because you and I both talked about, it would be good for you to reach out into that Spanish market and, kind of do the Andrea Hutchinson thing for yourself and be able to bring in a Spanish team as well as, English speaking team. It just makes you just twice that more powerful being able to be out there, right? I mean, like,
yes, it does. Yes, it does, Chris. And I'm so grateful. It was definitely, even she said, she goes, "Oh my gosh, like you're like saying that I was a godsend." And I'm like, "Oh no, you girls were a godsend, because I don't trust just anybody with my hair. I'm very picky when it comes to my hair, because I'm a hairstylist also. That was my first skill. And so, yeah, they were shocked. They're like, "Wow." And I go, "But I'm easy, I mean, I am easy. I'm not like I'm very particular, but I give people a chance." Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So even if I had given them a chance and they had messed up my hair right away, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have still forgiven that, because I know it's hair and hair will grow back or whatever. So yeah, that was a chance that I took, and she ended up knowing what she was doing. So I'm like, wow.
That's great. That's great.
So awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, and Donna,
I like your shirt.
Oh yeah. I like it too.
I love it.
Donna's been on the fence about joining for quite a while, and she just took the plunge and signed up with us. So this is her first Zoom conference and all. So it's been kind of nice. I haven't heard from Sarah Michelle, which is kind of crazy, because that she's all up in my ear trying to talk. Like, no.
Yeah.
There she is.
I've been just ready for work.
How are you doing, hon?
Well, as you can see, we're still in the trailer.
Oh, I'm sorry. When's that gonna be done?
We've gone through 2 bathtubs so far. Both, when they get delivered and open up, they're cracked.
Oh, great.
So, and there's no toilet yet.
Well, you can't, going without a tub is one thing, but going without a toilet's a whole nother thing.
Tell me about it. I'm ready to be out of this trailer.
I bet. and back into doing your normal routine too. I bet it's killing you. Man, it's like totally killing your algorithms, right? Not being able to keep that momentum going.
Yeah. But my VIP chat or my VIP messenger is rocking, so we're good.
Definitely. So we're
I've been listening the whole time. I've just been getting ready for work, and I gotta leave for work in about 10 minutes. So
right on. Well, we're glad you're here, but I keep seeing your name and wanting to mention you, and I just finally took the opportunity to throw it out there.
yeah, it's okay. Other people are more important than me.
That I don't know about all that, but
No,
the fact of the matter is you're still one of the leaders in this group. You have a big following. You've got a lot of people underneath you, and your information is just as valuable as mine or anybody else's, because you have a whole, you have your whole experience that you're dealing with. So, keeping you as part of the information is always a plus.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, you and Sarah on what is it? Donna.
Yeah, well, actually, Donna signed up the night before last, and then Tawan signed up last night. So we have 2 signups in 2 days, which is kind of crazy. I'm trying to see if we could come up with a third today. That would just be like awesome.
3 in 3 days.
That's great.
And then that's going to make me want to look for a 4th for the 4th day, and then a 5th for the 5th day. And hey, I'm good with it. You know what?
That's not a bad thing.
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
So Team Kingdom of Blingdom is now at 144, and we're like 6 people away from hitting that 150 mark. So yeah, Kingdom of Blingdom is definitely we're trying to set launch here to bringing in new seas.
I love it. That's a celebration right there. So much success.
Right. All right. But yeah, this is definitely a group that Donna, that if anytime you see that we're doing a Zoom conference, and this is one thing I wanted to tell you too, hun, is that I do have a Zoom notification group set up for like a chat that I can add you to if you'd like to. We don't talk in it. We don't chat in it. We don't ask questions. We don't even throw the emojis or the likes or nothing in that. It's completely supposed to be silent until I go live, and then it's the only one notification for the day. So if you'd like to be a part of that so that you can get notified when I go live, we can do that. But there's also a Team Kingdom of Blingdom text alerts that any training that we do in Kingdom of Blingdom, I send out a text alert. So there's multiple ways that you can get notified of it. I think today you found out from the family chat. I posted in there as well. So being in a lot of different groups might be overwhelming. So do whatever you need to do to be comfortable, but to still be able to be informed. So with that being said, everybody, we're kind of in a break where we don't have any particular topic right now at this moment. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to either share, or a struggle that you're dealing with that you'd like to talk about, whether it could be business or not business? Christina, please go ahead and take the mic.
Take the mic. Just
yes,
kidding.
Ma'am.
So
just don't drop
it. You just gotta I'm like super short, so you just gotta reach low to hand it to me.
There you go.
I was gonna ask if, and this is like, I've only been selling since January, but I noticed here, like this month in particular, I have like 7 unpaid invoices. Like, what the heck? Is that normal? Like, have you ever, like, people just claim, and they're not crazy big invoices, like I'm thinking, like, if somebody's going to do that nonsense, like do it on a $50 order. But no, one of them is like legit one piece of jewelry. So it's $5 plus tax. And I'm like, hey, do you still want this? And a few of them just flat out ignore me. If I get response, oh yeah, I'll take care of it tonight. Tonight was a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And so this month is just rough, bro. And so, yeah, any guidance on that issue would be greatly
Yeah, I
appreciated.
think Sarah would be the best one to add to that. And Liz has got her hand up already, but let me just give you my little say on this.
Mhm.
Because I don't do the invoicing and the sales, I don't necessarily have to be involved in it. But I will tell you that in my conversations with Sarah all the time is as strict as you want to be about your business is where you have to be. If you do not set yourself a flat level of what you'll accept and what you won't accept, you're going to be all over the board and you're never going to have the control that you want. So that's what I'd like to tell you, is that if you feel like they're pushing their boundaries with it, as much as you desperately don't want to lose a sale or whatever, by canceling that invoice and not allowing them to take claim, that is definitely a repercussion that a lot of people don't like being dealt with. So, putting that threat out there or even canceling their claim is one of the first ways. Like I see so many times that somebody will be holding on an invoice for a minute, and then Sarah will cancel that invoice, and less than 5 minutes later, that person's, I was just about to pay that. So, you're probably going to be dealing with a little bit of this, that, or the other. Real quick, babe, before I let you give your info, because Liz threw that hand up there, I'm going to have her say what she wants to say real quick. And then if you can add off after that, I'd sure appreciate it. So Liz, go ahead and if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I got a lot of my information from Sarah, so she'll be the best to wrap it up because you'll probably remember what she says more than mine. But in my experience, I share a lot to those live groups and direct sales, network marketing. So I do get a lot of people that jump on, and some of them are smaller. Most of them are larger, the ones that don't pay. You really have to feel the person out. It's up to you. Like some people I think just forget, but some people are just out there to cause more work for you. And I don't understand that at all. Like why be such a hater that way, in a way, I would say. But what I do is if I notice somebody has not paid an invoice, I send them a nice little message and I just say, I basically, I invoice through Square, I copy that invoice, I send it to them, and then I send a message of, hi, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Is there anything I can do to help you with your invoice? And so that kind of sends a reminder to them of, hey, you still haven't paid. And it's a nice way of saying, hey, can you please pay your invoice already? So it's kind of like you just offer help to them. And then a lot of them, if they're good people, then they'll come back, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I totally forgot. And then they'll pay it. And if they straight up ignore you, I've had people do that to me. I tell people 24 hours, but I usually message people after 48 hours, and then I kind of just ignore it. After a week, I block them. If they don't respond, they don't look, they don't chat back with me, there's no communication, then that's, unless I really get a feeling that they're I get those people that jump on and they rack up, $120, $150 bill. If they don't message or don't look right away, then I know those ones are usually ones that are there to just cause problems. So I block them right away. So that's my 2 cents.
How long do you usually hold on to an invoice? And on my side, it cut off for a little bit there. So if you answered that, I apologize.
So I usually hold on to an invoice. I tell people 24 hours. After 48 hours, I send my nice little message of, hey, Because if you tell people 24 hours, then there's more pressure to get it done. And if they're honorable people, they'll follow that 24 hours. Some people are just absent-minded. They forget. So I try to give a little bit of lenience. That's why I wait about, not necessarily 48 hours, but 2 days-ish. And then I'll send that little message of, hey, is there anything I can do to help you with your invoice? And then usually they'll respond and pay it. And then I just kind of, I kind of put it in the back of my mind. And then later that week, when I'm sending out other invoices or shipping or anything like that, I kind of go back through. And if they haven't messaged me or looked at the message or anything like that, then I just block them.
Got you. Thank you.
All right, my queen. And now if you can help with that.
Okay, so I've always been like one to not want to upset anyone, not want to anger them or feel like I'm annoying anybody or anything like that. So I've always been very hesitant to push anything, push an issue. But I am learning over time that you have to. So I am super, super, super clear on my lives. I will repeat it multiple times, and if people get annoyed by that, I'm sorry. But as soon as somebody new comes on and they're, they start, oh, how do I claim? Like, how much is your shipping? Da, da, da. I tell them the whole spiel, when it's due, when I invoice, blah, blah, blah. I am extremely clear. They must send me their email that night. If they don't send it that night, the next night, their stuff's going back. Like, you have to give me your email tonight or you will not be getting those pieces. And I tell them, I just say that, if I don't get your email tonight, I can't invoice you and I'll be putting your pieces back. And then I send their invoice at 24 hours or even at like 20 hours, because my policy is 24 hours. At 20 hours, I'll be like, hey, just a quick reminder, your invoice expires in 4 hours. And then if they see it, say nothing, whatever, the next morning I'll be like, hey, I'm going through invoices, unpaid invoices, and I didn't want to cancel yours without reaching out to you. Did you still want your pieces? I do that the next morning, like as soon as it's past the 24 hours. If they don't answer me by the end of the night, then I'm going to cancel it. And if it's the first invoice with me, I know my policy is 2 canceled and then I block you, but if it's their very first invoice, they don't message me, they don't communicate, I'll wait a few days to actually block them, but their invoice will get canceled. And then I'll wait and see if they say anything. If they say, oh, I'm so sorry, I can pay it right now. I say, okay, I'm sending it right now. I need it paid in the next 10 minutes. If they don't pay it, then I'll just block them. Because if they're starting out their business relationship with me that way, I've learned, I've had enough customers over the years. I've learned if that's their very first one, that's how they start with me, that's probably going to continue. And I'm going to end up battling every time they buy from me. And I found that out the hard way through so many people. So I'm learning to be a little more firm. Don't be afraid to be clear on your policy. And if you have to let a customer go, don't spend too much time, chasing people. They're grown. They know what they claimed. If they don't want to pay for it, move on. Move on. Don't let it sit there for a week, 2 weeks. No. If they don't want to pay or they don't communicate with you in those first few days, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. It's too stressful. I have enough people like that are regulars that I have to battle with every time. I'm not going to add more customers to my customer base that do that to me. It's not worth the headache.
I got you. I just and I guess like you said, like you don't want to ruffle feathers. I'm like, I don't want to lose business, but it is like, I have 7 and I'm just like, and one of them is a one piece and I've already contacted, oh, I'll take care of that tonight. Tonight was like a week ago.
Cancel it. Move on. She's done. It's because I get not wanting to lose business. Believe me, I do. This is our sole income. I hate canceling, hate blocking people. But if you're spending so much time chasing these people about an invoice, you're missing out on so many other people you could be selling to while you're dealing with this one person. That piece could have gone to somebody who would have actually paid. So that person is essentially, yes, you're canceling one invoice now, but you're saving yourself multiple canceled invoices with them, multiple occasions of them essentially pulling pieces off the shelf for your customers who would pay. So yes, the one sucks, but it's going to give you a lot better customer base in the long run. You're weeding out the bad ones now to have an easier, smoother business, because people are going to see you mean business. You're not playing around. Yes, you're nice, you're understanding, you'll work with them, but you're not messing around. And that's what I'm having to show people, and it sucks. I still have patches where it seems like nobody wants to pay, but overall things are much better than they were, because I'm spending a lot less time back and forth. Did you pay? Did you pay? Where are you paying? Like, or do you still want your pieces? No, I give them the 24 hours. I give them, like, if I feel like they're kind of iffy, like maybe it's a new customer who claimed a lot, I'll give them a heads up. Hey, your invoice is going to expire. And the next morning you message them. They still don't respond by the end of the day, because, you know, they're at work, maybe can't check their phone. So I give them till the end of the day. If I still have no contact from them, just cancel it. And then I might wait a couple of days. If they still don't reach out to me and say, hey, I still wanted my stuff, then I just block them and move on. Because clearly they have no respect for me or my business. But I will give them a chance if they're like, oh, you know, I was in the hospital last night, I couldn't, you know. So I give them that time before I block them, to see if they're going to be like, you know, say anything to me. 9 times out of 10, they don't.
I hear you. And I had one recently that did that to me a couple months ago. And she was a good friend of mine. And like, I was just, you know, messaging her and she wasn't responding. And I was just like, dude, I'm just going to cancel it. And I showed the pieces on my next live. I think I still have one that has yet to sell, but for the most part, all of that order has since been sold. And she reached out to me was it a couple weeks ago, and was like, hey, did you still have that order? Sorry, I had some things come up. And I go, well, no, like, you just cut off communication with me. Like, if you tell me, like, we can work something out, but you didn't even talk to me. And she's like, yeah, well, stuff happens. And I go, well, this is my business, dude. You're supposed to be my friend. Like,
yeah. With those ones, I just tell them, like, hey, I totally understand. I get it. Life happens. Just, you've got to communicate with me. So in the future, if you do decide you want to claim anything again, and, you know, God forbid something should happen, please reach out to me and let me know. But I never put that on my lives anymore. I used to tell people, like, okay, it's 24 hours, but if something happens, let me know. We'll work it out. No, I don't put that out there anymore, because then they're like, oh, she'll work it out. Okay. So they'd claim like $50 worth of stuff and then message me after and be like, oh, no, I don't get paid for 2 weeks. Is that cool? And it'd be like, are you serious? So I don't put that out there. I put my policy out there. And if something should arise, we'll address that. But I don't put it out there that I'm that nice. Because when people see that I'm being so nice, like, they're like, ooh, look at what I can get away with, and they take so much advantage of me.
yeah.
And sometimes consultants are the worst.
Yep. And they understand the policy is the best. So I don't feel bad about if a consultant comes on my live and claims some stuff and they don't pay, I'll cancel them. I don't even feel bad. I don't be like, oh, you know, like, maybe I should message them again. No, they know how this business works. If they don't respect you, then, like, I don't even want to be associated with them, because if they can't even respect another consultant, how much respect do they have for their customers or how they run their business? Nope.
I'm good.
Not doing it.
Sarah,
Yes.
just something that came up that when you said the consultant thing, maybe mention that you also had a couple times you had to send it to me through Messenger. There's other ways that you send it out.
Oh, the link for.
Well, yeah. Like if we didn't, like, I didn't pay and I forgot, or I didn't get it and I actually was there with you, but you sent it through a different means.
Yeah. And if okay, so if you guys use Square, you can click on their invoice and it'll show you whether they viewed their invoice. So they try and tell me, oh, I never saw it, but it says they viewed it. I'm like, funny.
They don't realize that we know that, though.
Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, okay, no problem. I'm going to send that link to your messenger right now. And you can actually scroll down to the bottom of their invoice and click more and then share and just send that link straight to their messenger, so they have no excuse. So typically, if it's like, because I invoice late at night, and by like midday the next day they haven't seen their invoice, haven't viewed it, then I go ahead and send a link to their messenger, just so they can't be like, well, I never saw it. You got it in your email and your messenger. So I reached out to you in every possible way. It's now in your court, you know?
But now also I want you guys to know that, like, when we first started doing this, like, you know, Sarah Sarah and me had some talks because she immediately, like, she did everything she could to get that invoice paid from the very get, right? So when she sent that invoice out, she sent it out like Square would normally do it. Then she would also send it to their messenger at the same time. So she was doing double the work, right? And she was training the customers to be able to be lazy. And it made it really, really difficult for us to get it to a point where Sarah no longer had to go chasing invoices around, even though, I mean, like, we had several conversations about it, and and she could tell you, we went back and forth I was like, babe, quit sending them everywhere. Like, just send it to the one place and get them used to going to that one place. And, it's taken some time to kind of go back and change some of those things that we were doing at the beginning, because, we had given them so many different opportunities to pay it. And then when we weren't given the opportunities, they were like, well, oh, I didn't see it because you usually do this or you usually do that. And it took a long time to kind of like curb that. So that's why we're trying to give you this advice now, because we went through it. So we definitely.
And I don't mind sending it to their messenger. I just don't typically do that because I invoice so late at night. I don't try to do that right when I invoice unless they've specifically asked me to. If they're like, I got locked out of my email, can you send it here or something like that? Just because they don't need their messenger dinging in the middle of the night. So I usually wait and just do that only as an as needed basis if they still haven't seen theirs. Like by the middle of the
night. Yeah, that's what I've been doing with I don't always messenger it through, because I do Square too. But no, that was very helpful. Thanks a lot for that. I was taking notes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I pretty much just say, hey, when I invoice, it's going to come to your email, so I'll be watching for it. If for some reason it doesn't show up, message me, I'll resend it. And I don't typically let them know that I'm going to send it to Messenger unless I feel like, hey, they still haven't seen it. Maybe it went to spam. Maybe they have some sort of block on their account where they can't see it, whatever. So I usually wait, and then I'll just kind of go down my list. Like if it's halfway through the next day and I still have, some have paid, some haven't, I'll check the ones who haven't. And I'll see, okay, they probably haven't seen it, send it to their messenger. They've seen theirs. Okay, and I just do a real quick check, see where I'm at. And that's just like their little, don't forget, little reminder. So yeah, I'm trying to make less work for myself and make the work that I do count for more. But I have to remember they're grown-ups. They know what they claimed. They know that they've shopped. That's not my responsibility to be like, hey, do you know you bought stuff from me? Like, they know. They know what they did.
Liz had her hand up again. I don't know if she had something more to say or if that was from before.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say also, if you look at it as, don't look at it as you're losing business, because realistically, if these people are not paying their invoice on time, then they're not respecting you and they're not respecting the fact that you're building a business. And you need to look at it as you respect yourself and respect your business. When these people take advantage, they're going to continue taking advantage because they've done it. Like Sarah said, if they do it the first invoice, then they're going to continue doing it. And you're going to have to continue chasing them down and have to continue, messaging them. Can you pay? Can you pay? Can you pay? But if you weed those people out and you start blocking those people, then your business is going to thrive, because you're going to have all customers that are respecting you, respecting your business, and paying their invoices within 24 hours like you want. And everybody has a hiccup. So when they start paying and respecting you and doing that in the 24 hours, and they start building that relationship with you, and they have a hiccup down the road, then that's one thing. You can, decide that down the road, that you want to give them some grace or whatever. But weed those crazy people out that are not respecting you, and just think of it, you're not losing business, you're losing people that are disrespecting you and your business.
Well, guys, look, and here's the truth. We know when we talk about like recruiting, right, and getting those new people to join our team. We hear all the time a lot of them saying, "Yeah, but you know what? I want to have a real job," or I don't want to get involved in that. Like they're automatically skeptical. They don't take this as serious as we do because they don't see it as a business like we do. They see it as a hobby. They see it as just a little part-time $5 jewelry gig, right? They don't see the full potential in this business. So if they don't see it when they're talking about joining our teams or working with us and making money themselves, I definitely don't think they're seeing it as a customer, that this is truly our business, and I think that the more serious that we are about it and the more that they see that this is a legitimate actual business, I think that they will they'll start coming around to it too, right? And like a lot of our customers, we've been doing this for so long now that a lot of our customers know for that, like we're not doing something different. This is what we will be doing. And it's taken a while to get there.
If you don't take it seriously, they won't either. They follow your lead. Your customers are going to follow your lead. If you do your business half-heartedly, you don't take it seriously, you don't enforce the rules, they're going to treat it that way.
Right. Definitely.
You teach them how to treat you.
Yeah, and if you don't, or if you haven't, teach them now. There's nothing wrong with letting people know how you want to be treated in your business. And me and Sarah's had that conversation in the past. Like, oh, but babe, I don't want to have to like cancel their invoice. I don't want to, I mean, sometimes it's $100 invoice. I think we've literally canceled invoices that are multiple hundreds of dollars because somebody claimed that much jewelry and have always paid their invoices, but now they're giving us trouble because we've allowed certain graces in the past.
So
I don't know how many times we've heard oh, you know what, I have to get a new credit card. Somebody was somebody had my card was stolen, or my card was taken, or my card was hit for fraud, and so now I have to get a new card. I have to switch bank accounts, or this, that, and the other. And it's amazing how often that happens to just the standard everyday person. But yet it's never ever happened to me or anybody that I seem to, well, Michelle Badger's a little bit different. She's actually going through some fraud situations, but
I don't know if you guys know, but when you look, if you're on Square and you go to your little drop down menu and you look at your customers, you can actually click on a certain customer and see that customer's entire business profile with you. So you can see how often they buy, their average dollar amount they spend with you, what they've spent with you all total as a customer. I actually have had a customer whose total lifetime spending with me was over $3,000. And she's no longer a customer because she didn't respect my business. So sometimes you're going to have to make those tough calls, but it was a repeated issue of that person disrespecting me, and they are no longer my customer because it was not worth the struggle and the pain and frustration that they were putting us through. It wasn't worth it anymore, and I had to cut them loose.
Yep.
Speaking of my identity theft,
Yes.
hi. I got a letter from Check Systems yesterday saying that they're reversing all of the charges and stuff for the first identity fraud on the first bank account. And they're going to remove it from my credit. So within 2 weeks, I can get a checking account again. Yay!
Awesome.
Are you taking advantage of using Square right now?
Yes. Yeah, that's my only way to receive payments right now. So, because my PayPal doesn't like to work for me for some reason. So, whatever. I just stick with my Square.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff.
Oh God, I know. This has been such a fight for so long now. And I mean, this all started back in January. So finally, I'm happy camper.
Well, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, anybody have anything more that they would like to add, or anything they'd like to ask?
Are there going to be Zooms next week since everybody will be
Yes.
at convention?
Yeah, as I am the Zoom chairperson here, apparently, you know, I'm not going anywhere, so I will still be here doing Zooms.
Awesome. Sarah, I hope you guys have fun when you go to convention. I'm like so excited for you and the awards you guys get to get, and anybody in here who gets to, and just congratulations. And I'm so happy. But I'll see you guys there next year.
Yes, for sure.
Yep, and if you're not going this year, that should be your goal for next year, because I'm telling you, convention is going to change your whole attitude in this business.
Is it in the same? Oops.
Sorry, I wanted to go really bad, but I was trying to buy my ticket and they sold out before I could get it. So
yeah,
it's kind of a frenzy. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. What were you going to say, June?
Or is a question, is it in the same place always?
It's always in Las Vegas so far, yes.
Okay.
And I think it's always at the MGM Grand too, but
Yeah.
I can only speak for 3 years back.
Yeah, so far it has been for the last few years, but I mean, there's always the chance of changing it, but it doesn't seem like there's any plans to be changing it. But you never know with paparazzi. They could always surprise us.
Yeah, and right now it has a lot to do with the amount of people. You know, I can only imagine how many people we're going to have next year if these are the numbers that we're pulling out now.
How many people are going this year? Like some 300,000?
I'm not sure, because I've heard quite a few people in some of the chat page or team pages saying that they are no longer now going because of family emergencies, or they're worried about COVID or whatever. So I know there have been some cancellations, and I don't know if they put out as many tickets as they have in previous years, because I'm sure the MGM has some restrictions on the number of people that can be in there. Maybe less than previous years. I don't know.
I see.
So they'll probably tell us, though. They'll probably announce how many consultants they've got in there.
There are also a lot of convention chat groups available and open. If you're going to convention and you want to be involved in the chat groups, you can reach out to Sarah or Marissa or any of the leaders that you know of that are in one of those groups. They can pull you into them.
Baker's.
What?
I'm in the page that Danielle Baker set up, and then I'm also in the chat that Marissa just set up today. So if anybody needs to be added into those, reach out to me or Marissa or anybody else that you know is going. They can get you connected. Danielle's is really informative. It's like an event page or something, but she's got lots of just if you've never been, it's some tips and where to look for things and what to bring and what to do and not do and stuff like that.
Where to go to get registered and sign up and this and that. And yeah, she's pretty detailed.
I have a friend that lives in Las Vegas and he says it's been 116 degrees there lately. So it's going to be a hot one.
Well, somebody posted the weather forecast for next week and it's supposed to be in the low hundreds. But we're going to be inside most of the time. And to be honest, when we were there, it was like 115, 116 the last time. But it's a dry heat, so it really doesn't feel as bad as you think it would. If it was really humid, it'd probably been a lot worse. But we really were outside very little because there's just so much going on inside that you really don't go out very much unless like going to the pool or something like that. Everybody got quiet.
Yeah. So we're getting to that point now where I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the Zoom. I'm trying to make them a little bit shorter. So, or not the Zoom, I'm sorry, the YouTube. So if you've joined us and you are on the YouTube, we're sorry to cut you short. We're going to continue talking without you, though. And the best way to be able to circumvent that is to join us live. So join us for a live Zoom and see what you're missing, because you're not going to get it here. Have a good day. Bye.